Hamza from Unity Performance here. I just wanted to give a summary on the SDI E-Clik system in my Civic Type R FL5. Sorry for the flashing over there. That's the refresh rate on my camera. It's not the actual screen itself. So when you start up the car, let me see if I can do something about that refresh rate. It's kind of really annoying to having it bouncing around. Okay, well, hopefully you guys can put up with it. Anyway, so that's the side-to-side angle as well as the front-to-rear angle that the car is currently parked in, or when you're driving, you'll see those values change. Swipe left or right and you'll start seeing different options: miles, kilometer, the current damping level on each mode. Now, as I toggle, let's say if I go to sport, well, because the car's not moving, I've set it to kind of zero in this normal state, but if I press plus R, it'll start stiffening up. But again, because it's not really moving, it's not going to give you much damping just at the very beginning. There's also values like the brake percentage, your throttle percent, your RPM, and your steering angle. And then you go over to home, mode, and then you can see basically this is comfort, sport, and plus R. And I believe, pretty certain, there's nothing that tells us other than this vent gauge pod that it's a different system for the Integra Type S, because everything else seems to line up perfectly fine. So I can choose between these suspension modes on the screen. And then right now the car is currently in comfort. If I switch the drive modes over to sport and then individual, I've also set the suspension to comfort, so it'll go back to comfort, and then I hit plus R, so it'll let me select. It is connected to the car's drive modes, and it'll let me select that. Again, I do apologize for the flashing screen. It's just the camera's refresh rate, not this actual screen over here. Go back home, click that. Then I can use this dial over here, and here's where I can individually set my front or rear in comfort. So now once you set it, it kind of stays in that setting for the mode that you're in. So while I'm in comfort, it's at 0 clicks out of 10, meaning the softest setting. In sport, I have it set to, let's see, was it 1, 2, 3? So it was, yeah, 1, 2, 3 clicks in sport for the front, 3 clicks in the rear for sport. And if I press plus R, it's 6 clicks for the front, for the rear, and I believe 6 for the front as well. Now I can vary this if I want each mode to be different. Let's say if I want a lot of rear rotation, almost lift off oversteer, I could set the fronts to low and the rears to really high in plus R and just have fun with the car. That's the adjustability, along with tying in with the modes, is a really cool aspect of the SDI E-Clik system. And there's even more adjustment I'll show you guys. So that's just the front and rear over here. You can also go back by clicking this, and then rear pro mode. That's what I wanted to go to next. So you can set how sensitive, like for example, in plus R, the pitch sensitivity is this high. Now if I go down to sport, okay, I have the same pitch sensitivity, but for comfort, I've reduced the pitch sensitivity, meaning when I hit the brakes, how quickly will my dampers react to stiffening up the front dampers, or if I take a corner, let's say if I turn right, how quickly will, well actually that's dealt with the other menu option, brake reactivity, throttle, turning and roll. So you can individually vary these, and you can customize it basically 3 different ways and 3 different presets based on the driving mode that you are in. So again, those values were pitch, roll, turn, throttle, brake. Super cool to have it that way. Okay. And then let me go back again. Pro mode, there's rear load, also very cool. If you have passengers in the rear, you can or you have weight in the rear, you can dial up the rear load 25, 50. What's up, Chris? Been a while. Good. Let me just quickly finish a little video over here. And I'll be right with you in 2 seconds. And then let's go back over to this screen. Now, SDI does mostly off-road Jeeps and Ford Raptors. So they've got these additional settings where you can basically have auxiliary lighting and items controlled by the SDI E-Clik system. So that is really something cool. I guess you could tie in something on this car if you're putting in extra lights or features, but it's not something that I'm actively using. The only thing I can see myself using is, I guess, like these lights. And I can, if I had some rock crawling lights, perhaps it's a product that they sell, but it's not super relevant to the FL5. Yeah, that's all those modes, so don't need those. And then it shows you your current damping levels. So in comfort, I don't have it set to like super reactive, but I'll give you guys plus R, for example. Now, if I hit the brakes in plus R, you can see how immediately the front shocks stiffen up. If I turn, you can see, if I turn left, the right shocks will stiffen up. If I turn right, the left shocks will stiffen up. So I love the fact that this is now a truly fully active suspension. Before it was an adaptive suspension. Now the system is fully active. So let me just go back to the menu to see if there's anything else. No, that's pretty much it. Let me go settings. You can change your background. You can change what's this? Oh, stock. You can add, like, you know, what tire. So this counts for your total diameter of your wheel and tire. Again, more off-road, but you know, there's some application for vehicle as well. Let me just click home over here and just send it over this menu. Sucks that the refresh rate isn't lining up. Anyways, what I can confidently say is that the comfort setting at so 0 is more comfortable than the DE5 ADS module, and the stiffest setting is more stiffer than plus R in the FL5. So you have that infinite, like, huge adjustability compared to stock, as well as the ability to go, you know, completely independent like it is right now, where it'll vary, you know, each individual jumper, and then set the front and rear. I've been living with this system for just under a month, and you know, from everything from daily driving to hitting some back roads, it's made the suspension so much more enjoyable and kind of fun to play with and see what each mode does. We do have this available on unity-performance.com. If you have any questions, give me a shout. Thanks, guys.